You ready?
Ready and not ready. Guess what?
What?
It's That Matters Live.
Well, hi, it's That Matters Live, and we are live on the air coming to you from the Impact Hub in NYC. And I am Monica Mitchell, and this is my co-host, Shane Snipes, and we are so happy to be here today.
Definitely.
We have been invited. I mean, we are not just unwelcome guests. We have been invited. It just shows that some people want us here. Anyway, this
Not
is...
only that, but think about it. We are in a cool space, another social innovation.
We love this space. We'll tell you a little bit more about it. Oh, totally. But our show, That Matters Live, if you don't know it, follow us on Twitter at That Matters Live or at Shane Snipes. And we are a show about entrepreneurs and innovators who are actually changing the world every day by what they do. So,
that's right.
Yeah.
Take a problem and then create a business or a product that solves that social problem.
A solution. Some of them are nonprofits. Some of them, many of them, are for-profits, social enterprises, and some of them are hybrids, which is a cross between both. But they all have a social mission and a social purpose, and this is they make a difference by make a living by making a difference. And my co-host is Shane Snipes. He is the former CTO of the Environmental Defense Fund, and he also is the creator of Eco Road Trip. 1,000 interviews across 48 states on sustainability. I don't know how he did it. I mean, I heard he was walking. Were you walking or were you biking?
I was Priusing.
You were You probably were Priusing.
I was, literally. I was Priusing. I have my Prius.
Right.
It was
Prius,
freaking amazing.
Well, of course, sustainability gets you better have your Prius. Okay. And also...
I better introduce you because my co-host, Monica Mitchell, is the founder of Good Business New York, goodiCanDo.com. Check them out. It's definitely New York City's leading social good news platform. And they've actually been named by the Washington Post as a standout company of the year. She's a top thought leader across the country as well. And I'm just honored to be part of a show which has what I feel like are two people who are thinking about what it means to solve social problems with business.
Well, yeah, we definitely think about that. But we also do some really funny stuff. I mean, I don't know. We'll try our best today. But, like, yes, I'm one of the top 100 thought leaders. But we don't know who said that. You see, that's the important thing. I mean, let's just know it was T and A.
T-A-A.
T-A-A. Which could be T-A-A, T and A. You know what?
Not be confused with TSA.
No, it's never TSA. Please do not confuse us with TSA. No, that would be a complete disaster. So, like, what are we trying to do here at That Matters Live? You just said it, but, like, where did this idea come up with? Let me tell you first. This man over here next to me just created this whole format, being that sort of tech wizard, Fulbright scholar thing that he does. And we just created it and found out that there's a huge audience for it, like hungry for information about other social entrepreneurs who are actually changing the world through business, through what they do every day. But it's been huge. I mean, I think we have over 100,000 viewers now.
Yes. The great thing about it, too, is you guys can interact with us all the time. You can approach us on Twitter at That Matters Live. You can talk to Monica at Monica_Mitchell, or you can talk to me at Shane Snipes. And today, since we're talking about impact, hashtag our show and your question to hashtag impact, and we'll actually answer your question because I'm watching my social media.
He's watching his social media. Yeah. Well, we're in New York. Okay. What is that Boston hat doing on the table? What is that doing? You're provoking me. I mean, that is what you're doing. Yeah. I'm going to bring in all of my Yankee hats. At one time, Boston, don't even think about it, okay? Don't even think about it.
Boston's a great town.
No. Boston's a great town. It's a nice little hub for Martha's Vineyard people. My father was born there. It's great. I'm not even going to talk about them. But aside from that, they're pretty awesome. And Boston is like one of those entrepreneurial places where they actually overthrew a government. Well, that was a long time ago, but you know, they are cool. Okay, I'm not saying you're not cool, Boston.
They got the serious stuff going on.
We are cooler. That's all I have to say. Okay, New York is the greatest city in the world. So let's talk about New York, since we're in the city of New York.
Definitely.
You want to know why I think that New York's the greatest city in the world, aside from other things? because everybody in the world, including you Bostonites, gets here at one point or another. You're here, you pass through the city, the world's leaders pass through the city, the country's leaders pass through the city. Some really weird people pass through the city.
Let me give you another reason why New York is awesome. You see behind us, we have this really cool little diagram about what is impact. And it's got this thing that's talking about economies and individuals and startups and communities and impact. Well, that all intersects right here in New York City, because there's so many things going on in the city, so many industries all coming together to solve problems.
That's true, actually. That's really true. So that's part of what we're going to talk about today, as a matter of fact, which we talk about every day. But in the meantime, what did you do this weekend? We did something really special together, but we'll talk about that in a minute. I mean, like...
So welcome to the New York Minute.
Yeah, this is the New York Minute. And just watch, because it's a little longer than a minute sometimes, but the New York Minute, a lot happens in the New York Minute, because there are 8 million really cool, interesting people. Anyway...
So the New York Minute this weekend, well, let's start out first with the really cool thing that you went to. Yes. You went to a dinner and you met what I feel like anytime I can sit down with someone like you did, I don't know, I feel like I learned so much.
Yeah, well, it could have been, who was it? The Pope, was the President, was like, you know, I don't know, world leader. Yes, it was. It was Radhana Swami. Gosh, Bhakti Yoga Spirit. He lives in Vrindavan, India, and he was here in New York, and I got invited to a very small affair with him. I think there were like 20 people there. So it was in somebody's living room in the West 50s, their private apartment, and we had an audience with Radhana Swami, who sat in a yoga position on the couch directly in front of me and said the most profound things, which I feel like he spoke right to what we're doing here, what all the innovators are doing here, you know, at Hub, at the Center for Social Innovation in New York, and all around the city and all around the country and the world.
And the thoughts from people like that, from a place of being centered from peace, centered from helping people, and there's a real caring that emanates from people like that. So I really like that too.
Well, he said, one of the things he said, and yes, and that's what it was all about. It was all about people were asking questions. How do you deal with, you know, people that are violent? How do you deal with all the world's problems? And he said every single problem is an opportunity to serve, and an opportunity, you know, and that's what we're seeing here. That's what social entrepreneurs see. They see every single problem in the world, all the critical social issues, as opportunities.
Yes.
And things they can actually solve.
Yes. Yeah. And you know, and today we're lucky too, in the sense that today we have a chance to connect with some of those leaders.
Well, we do, and we have a particularly awesome leader today, who is one of the co-founders of the Impact Hub here in New York, formerly the Green Sis, but we'll talk about her in a minute. We'll introduce her, but that's Marissa Feinberg, and she invited us. So I love you, Marissa. We are so excited to be here,
know,
and
Marissa,
we are so excited
so
that she invited us to the show. She's going to talk to you about a lot of things that she's done to bring her to this place. She's one of the leaders in social innovation in New York and around the country.
And I want to bring up the next thing that we're going to talk around Governor's Island. You know, what is Governor's Island? What is this place that we're at this weekend? I was lucky enough to be there with very good friends this weekend, and Governor's Island, as you can see, has like amazing landscape. There are hills and rolling green meadows, beautiful blooming trees, and you have all this water around you, and you're literally like 3-minute ferry ride from down into the financial district. That's how quick it is.
Yeah, it can't be New York. I mean, we went there with a very dear friend of ours, Mark Castro, this weekend, and it was the sweetest. She surprised me. They actually splurged and bought my $2 ticket for the boat ride across the Governor's Island.
Yes.
It was very cheap.
I'm a big spender. That's right.
But they brought a picnic lunch. It was grapes. It was gluten-free crackers just for me.
Yeah, we had all kinds of good stuff.
All kinds of cool stuff.
All kinds of gluten-free stuff for our gluten-free friends.
Yeah. Well, you know, I am gluten-free, and so you don't want me to faint right where you are. So you have to bring that stuff, unless you really do want to.
So let me tell you a little bit about Governor's Island. I think Governor's Island has one of those histories that most people forget about, because you know, people go to the Statue of Liberty, they go to Ellis Island, but they don't go to Governor's Island. It's literally right next to it. And this tiny little island used to defend New York from the Revolutionary War British invaders.
Those Brits, those crazy Brits.
They want us too many crumpets.
No, we love them. I mean, we love Brady. We love that whole thing. I mean, we're just crazy about the Brits. Don't be speaking about the Brits. We promise we won't show you anymore.
You know, sometimes you gotta like, you gotta speak about things like the real way. It is what it is. And the other cool part about Governor's Island is you have all these bikes that you can go on. You have tandem bike, 4-people bikes, and you can cruise around this nice-sized island.
Yeah.
And it has old officers' quarters and officers' homes, like really big old homes.
I mean, it was pretty cool. So take a ride out there. It's really cool. But I want to like talk about a little bit about like what we're doing here. We have been charged by the State Department of the United States. I mean, John Kerry himself, the Secretary of State of the United States, has entrusted Shane Snipes and myself to help with the Afghanistan vote. So we're still counting. We've been counting for weeks. We're going to keep counting to 8 million. It's 2 million, 2,000,001. Yes?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, like, we've got votes here for Sarah Palin, which I'm throwing out right now.
Oh, boy.
We got votes for...
Oh, John McCartney. John
McCartney?
Yeah, absolutely.
Who is that?
John McCartney. Yeah, there's big fans all around the world.
No, that's Paul McCartney.
Oh, Paul McCartney. John Lennon. Sorry.
John Lennon.
I merged them too.
It was a Seattle.
It's like a bromance.
All right.
It's like when John Lennon and
we're only on 2,000,001 here. 2,000,002, 2,000,003. Okay, that's for Ghani. I think there's another one for Abdullah. Oh yes.
Look, Sarah Palin. Look,
Sarah Palin's out. I got someone here for Dick Cheney, and he is going down right now. And George Bush. I mean, this is how the votes went in 2000.
It's true.
It's true. This is where they went to Afghanistan. Well, we're going to be at this for a while, so keep watching us. We'll be counting those votes. It's going to be weeks. We're going up to 8 million, okay? And we're counting every single one Afghanistan style. Afghan style. Sometimes we count them. Sometimes we don't count them. Sometimes we give them 5.
I'm thinking we should get like a start knitting an Afghan as part of the
I think
one
so too.
loop for every vote.
All right, totally. But listen, we have this awesome invitation to be here today, and there is a lady that has invited us. Well, she's a young woman who we adore, who is one of our favorite people, and I don't know, she's just awesome. I feel like I've known her a long time, and I think I only met her like 8 months ago, 9 months. So we've given birth and to a really great friendship. And it's really cool. And she has been one of the co-founders of the ImpactHubNYC, but formerly Green Spaces. And we want to talk to her about what she's been doing. You said you've known her a long time, right? So
I've known her. She and I were cyber stalking each other for years.
Oh, that sounds really racy.
No, it was really good. Actually. It was great. I was working in the sustainability space a lot in the mid-2000s, and she was been in that space at the same time. And we both had so much in common in trying to save the world from an eco perspective.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's great, but you've got to get that Boston hat off the table before we introduce. This is a New York show.
All right, wait 1 second. Just 1 second.
No, get that thing off.
I need to move it closer to the camera so you guys can see it.
Oh, that's killing me. It's killing me. All right, forget it. I'm going to block it out. I want to introduce one of my favorite people and the co-founder of the ImpactHubNYC, Marissa Feinberg. Come on, Marissa.
Come on in, Marissa. Thanks so much for joining us.
All right, where's my team? Can we an applause, please?
Yeah, we need some applause. Yay.
It's a live audience. First, they're.
Hey, Marissa.
We bribed them with lunch.
You're live. So if you love, absolutely, we love to have you, and you have a couple of really cool cameras all focused on you. So feel free. Yeah, you can. Exactly.
Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. She just talked to me. This is beautiful. This space is gorgeous.
We have so much cool stuff going on. I love it.
Wow.
The Shane and Monica, the famous Shane and Monica, are on That Matters Live, and they're here at ImpactHubNYC. This is a really, what a great way to kick off the week.
It is. Yeah. So, and we're just excited to have you as part of the conversation around what is ImpactHubNYC. So we're going to dive into that today with you.
Okay. Am I sitting in the right spot?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, one of the things I want to ask about is, like how you got started. I'm very interested in what motivates people to not go into just entrepreneurship, but what motivates people to become social entrepreneurs? I mean, when did that evolve for you? Was that Was that in college? Was that before college? Was that after college? I mean, you're one of the pioneers in New York that actually started it as a movement.
Wow. Well, that's I'm honored to be a part of the social entrepreneurship movement, and there are so many trailblazers before me, so I definitely wouldn't call myself one of the first. I would say I'm lucky to have had them pave the way. But I actually didn't know what an entrepreneur was in college. Never heard of the word until my roommate, I think she was studying entrepreneurship, and I thought, what's that? And so what happened was it was something that happened over time. I was working in New York. I was doing marketing, partnerships, and PR for other startups, and just realized that I was very entrepreneurial. And it felt really empowering to start taking on projects on the side and learning about what this movement was all about. I was working for Felissimo Design House in design for social innovation, and we were building a network of different sustainability-minded organizations, large corporations, places that had been dedicated to either giving to charity, supporting movements, who had been really paving the way in terms of how corporations could do business. And I found that fascinating. And then what happened was I got to know the social entrepreneurs in our town, and I really fell in love with them.
Yeah. And what about you? How do you feel about the overlap between social entrepreneurs and sustainability? I feel like there's a huge overlap.
Oh, definitely. When you say sustainability, do you mean the corporate sustainability? Do you mean...
Yeah, I just mean sustainability as a term across small business, mid-sized business, corporate. It could be communities that focus on sustainability. Governments focus on it too now.
Sure. I think Treehugger did a survey a while back saying, what is the difference between a green entrepreneur and a social entrepreneur? And people voted that there was no difference. So I think while we use different terms, some seem more appropriate for different organizations than others, I think we all have the common values and goals.
I'm not sure if we all have common values and goals. I hope we do. But you know what I think is pretty awesome, and I think it's very optimistic of you to say that. But I think like something really cool about entrepreneurship is, and I said this at our conference at NYC, which is where we first met, and Marissa was on a panel about building collaborative communities, which is what you've done here at the ImpactHUB NYC. But we, I talked about how entrepreneurship, all business and entrepreneurship is social. I mean, because it's about people. I mean, it's about people either having customers that are, catering to other people, clients and customers. It could be, even if it's about the environment, it has to do with human beings. So it's social. There's nothing unsocial about every business.
I agree, for sure. And I think when I was referring to it, I meant the social good part of it. So making sure that these social values are respected, that are basic needs and human needs of all of us.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to just point you guys to where they are online. It's like ImpactHUB_NYC. It's their Twitter account, Twitter. And
yeah. Sure. Do you want me to tell people, in case they don't know about ImpactHUB, what it is?
Yeah, definitely. For us, it's like you're the story to you because you're such a powerful woman, having stepped into the space.
Oh, you guys are going to make me turn bright red, and I'm going to run out of this room.
We've got time for ImpactHUB, and we want to back you up a little bit because this place is pretty awesome, and there's 7,000 entrepreneurs and innovators around the world, and you guys have just connected with the ImpactHUB, and it's a new merger, but we'll have you talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
But was it 6 years ago that you created Green Spaces, which is what this space originally was?
Yes, it was in May of 2008.
Wow. Okay. So in May of 2008, right before the financial crisis, right? Yeah. Okay. How did you? I remember seeing that, but how did you know that we had to move in this direction?
So we didn't know. It was at a time though when green was the new black. And there was a lot of heightened awareness of climate change. Obama was campaigning, putting a lot of these issues at the forefront. That's right. This was, there was an increasing focus on clean tech and what it could do. There was a lot of new evidence around green brands and the potential for companies to improve their profile with a lot of the different usage of the term. So, and then, there were some really great case studies of how large corporations were really taking green seriously. Tree Hugger was sold to Discovery. It was a really great time. And so in my position at this design house, we had started a networking group called Green Leaders, with really amazing, fabulous people across the city who just convened for salon-style events. And we thought, wouldn't it be great to start a space where we could collaborate every day and not just occasionally?
Yeah, and were you scared? I mean, like when you open the doors, you had to lease the space and take that leap that entrepreneurs have to do, which is like the big risk. It's like the difference between entrepreneurs and the rest of the world, whether you're social or not, or think that way or not, is that you have to have this kind of gut instinct that what you're doing is right and the courage to follow it through. And it's not always going to work. So.
Sure. So we were not scared. We definitely should have been scared. We were definitely naive and did not know what we were doing at all. We just said, oh, this great thing. We'll start it on the side. It's something that we'll definitely be able to handle while we're at our full-time jobs. And it was much more busy than anticipated. It required a lot more manpower. Luckily, we didn't have to sign a lease at first. We found a landlord in Brooklyn who was willing to work with us and said, pay me a portion of the desks that you fill. And so that enabled us to start on a shoestring as we were testing the model.
Yeah, I love that. So starting on that shoestring like that, who are some of the key sort of collaborators that brought all this to the foreground for you that you feel like were your champions?
Oh, absolutely. So my co-founder, Jenny Nevin, she took the leap first. She started the Brooklyn space. She left her Wall Street job. She really made that first leap, which is so important when you start a business. Yeah. We had an intern named Roberto Rett, who was really great in just jumping in and helping to create the business, and he later became a partner in Green Spaces New York when we started the Manhattan space. The landlord's name was Al Atera, and he's still at 33 Flatbush and has a very vibrant community there. Key collaborators, we had a lot of advisors and mentors, board members.
Informal board that we put together. So let's talk a little bit about where we are now. I mean, now this is the Impact Hub. I was there a month ago, and it was still like a couple of these floors that you've just opened up were still under construction, and now it's like unbelievably gorgeous. I mean, there's exposed brick. It's just the light is coming in through the sunroof. It's amazing here, and this particular space that we're in right here, the conference room, is lovely. We just love it. We're like so into it.
Thank you. We made it for you.
I know. I thought so.
Awesome. So there is a reason. She totally did it for us.
She likes us. She really likes us. Oh, thank you.
We made it for you, and we made it for everyone watching. We made it all for you.
All for us, yes. But so now I met this very cool man that you are partnering up with because he runs the Social Capital Markets Summit in San Francisco every Labor Day. He's a pioneer of many sorts, but like he's incredible. About 5-6 years ago, he started the SoCap conference in California, in San Francisco. Of course, a little different than New York. Like they understand sustainability there. Like 5 years ago in New York, sustainability was like throwing your garbage into the trash. That was about it. And it's still that for some people. But we're really moving forward. But it's Kevin Doyle-Jones. And how did you meet him? And how did this come about, the merger between Green Spaces and ImpactHUB? And do you love it? I mean...
Sure. So Kevin Jones is such an icon, trailblazer. He's the most amazing person, and he's a genius. And gosh, I mean, anyone can talk to him for hours about social impact and impact investing. And it's people like him who are really providing the resources and getting them to the entrepreneurs that need them to grow their business. He's also a very cool guy. I talked to him on the phone for like an hour. He was walking his dog in the Appalachian Mountains across the Appalachian River or something like that. He's like, I bet you never talked to anybody who had a dog before in the Appalachian River. I'm like, no, this is the first. And he's brilliant, smart, but like he's so authentic and down to earth. I love that about him. Very big. For sure.
He's a real character. He's a very independent.
He's such a great guy.
Yeah, it's cool. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sure. So the way that this came about was we were doing our thing in New York, and ImpactHUB, we'd had a conversation a few years back that just fell through, and we were doing our thing, and I touched base with Michael Cox, who was the director of the Hub Cities program, wonderful social entrepreneurial person, just a really great guy. And he's going all over the country all the time, starting up ImpactHUBs. He's kind of like the magician of the organization. And so I was trying to reach out to him to check in, and I hadn't heard anything back. And so I tell people it was like dating, because for a while everyone said we should meet each other. Everyone said that we would really get along, and we were sort of dodging each other's emails, and then I'd check in and I'd hear nothing back, and I'd be like, oh my God, he's playing games.
It's totally not my dating.
Okay. But then,
I totally get it.
Oh, really?
Totally,
do you have
100%.
better success or worse success than I do?
No, but I relate.
Okay.
I relate 100% to what you're saying. And I'm sure lots of my viewers out there, too.
All right. So all you New Yorkers, anyway, I'm sure you know the dating game. But when we finally sat down for coffee, it was love at first sight. We really got along. We hit it off. Within days, I met their board chair, Penelope Douglas, who's just an amazing, trailblazing woman. She started her own consultancy recently, and she's still on the board of ImpactHUB. And then, I worked out a plan with Tim Freundlich, who is such a great. He and Kevin do so many projects together, and he is just a really amazing person in impact investing. He's the president of Impact Assets, so he is handpicking and deciding the entrepreneurs that are really going to set the stage for the future in terms of who gets resources, who is presenting at social capital markets at their conference.
They're here, Impact Assets, right?
Impact Assets is here.
Oh, I just saw that, yeah.
And by the way, that social capital markets conference, it's coming up September 2nd through 5th in San Francisco. So it's going to be a really great way to bring
totally
together
awesome.
2,000
We're all going to be
people.
there. I mean, it's the place to be if you're interested in social innovation. But hold that thought, because we want to actually talk to you about concrete advice that you can give to social entrepreneurs and how you've seen it evolve and where you think things are going. We're going to take just a tiny little break here for a second. We're going to do a shout out for Twitter and our social media, and say you can contact ImpactHUB at ImpactHUB _NYC, right? And at Marissa Feinberg. This is Ms. Marissa Feinberg, and ourselves as well at Shane Snipes and at Good Bee and at That Matters Live. But we'd love to see you tweet your questions to us. Tell us what you're doing. Go on our Facebook page. But we want to talk about how we want to talk a little bit about climate change, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a really quick segment because we've got to wrap it.
All right, we got to wrap it,
really
yes.
I'm
in and out. No.
This is really good. So.
All right, so yeah. All right, let's do it. Excuse me.
Yes. Let's. What we need to make sure that you guys keep in mind is whenever we're doing our really cool little segments here, we always have these moments where we're putting on this whole new life, and you're going to see something emerge. It's going to kind of blow your mind, because we really do.
Hey, so
take on whole new personas. That's right. I thought she was going to pick up on my line, but she totally did. She was looking at something.
We're really proud to be American, and right here we're at Fax News. And we're coming to you from the Impact Hub in New York, where those polar bears walk on the streets in the wintertime. We are here. We're going to talk about climate change. We want to talk to you, Marissa. We want to include you in this conversation because we oh my gosh, she's a good old girl. She's totally a good old girl. I want you to know something, that people talk about climate change being real, but I want you to know something. Climate denial is real, okay? Climate denial is real. That's what's real. That's what's real. You get that? This is Randy Paul, my friend Randy Paul from Back to.
Hey, y'all. I just wanted to give you some ideas about where to go squirrel hunting.
No, it's nothing to do with squirrel hunting, honey. We're talking about climate here. Climate and Fax News, that's what we're talking about. We're proud to be American.
Wait one second.
No.
So, climate is very important to my squirrel hunting.
I understand that.
If the climate is bad, then I can't squirrel hunt.
Listen, I want to talk to you about that EPA liberal down in Washington. That guy in that 100 Pennsylvania Avenue, that Obama. He is ruining my life because I have 5,000 acres of oil fields in North Dakota, and I cannot get my oil down to Mexico fast enough.
All right, just one second. you know, climate is about weather.
Weather, yeah. About weather.
Yeah. When you get weather going,
Yeah.
then there might be sun, there might be rain, and so it's going to change. So I don't know what this climate change thing is all
Climate
about.
always changes. Climate is always changing. That's the thing. That's the thing about climate change.
That's what I'm saying.
It's called changing. Yeah.
Here at Facts News, we think that it's really important that y'all realize that
I got lipstick on my teeth right now. I
climate-
gotta like do something about it.
Honey, that's dirty. I like it when it's like that. I like it when it's like that.
Well, you have any comments about climate change there, Marissa?
Hi, this is my first time on Fox News. I'm so excited.
It's actually Facts News.
Hey,
Facts.
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 We're a little bit.
Do fax send fax messages to the mother of climate change?
No, because it's all about the facts.
No,
that's what
real. Because
I was thinking like fax.
No,
No,
it's FAXX.
yeah, because
Yes.
climate
Oh, yes.
denial is real. Okay, my name is Climate D Denier, and this is Randy Paul, and we have come to you from Facts News. We will be back with you later, but just remember that climate is about weather, and that's true. That's true, Randy
the
Paul.
truth.
Yeah, it's true, and
That
climate
is
is
the
always
truth.
changing. So watch out. Wear your galoshes tomorrow. Take out your sun hat, and that'll be doing it. All right?
Absolutely.
Cool. All right. Thank you. Wow, they are so amazing. Those, I love them. I love them. Randy Paul.
I want to keep in touch with Fax News.
Fax News is the hottest news show on the web anywhere. I mean, you can see it here, right? 'Cause he didn't go anywhere. Randy Paul is still here. All right, so Randy, we're going to ask Marissa. Okay, this is Marissa Feinberg. She's a New Yorker. Okay, I know how you feel about New Yorkers. Just
I love them New Yorkers.
Oh, yeah, I think you like to shoot New Yorker squirrels. But anyway, we want to have some thoughts about Marissa talking about where she thinks sustainability and social innovation is going to go in the next year or two, in the next couple of years. You are like a thought leader. You know, I'm from T&A, thought leadership, which you are a thought leader. What do you think is going to be the evolution from now, say, to 5 years from now with sustainability and social innovation? Do you think it's going to take over business? Do you think everybody's going to kind of step up to the plate?
I certainly hope so. I think little by little the idea is that in the future a place like ImpactHUB or CSI won't be needed because innovation will be everywhere. Everyone will be incorporating these values into their work and seeing what systems they can change to make their lives better.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, but I
think y'all talking a bunch of stuff.
This is a bunch of stuff. Yeah, it's a bunch of stuff.
No, really, I'm very interested in this idea of social impact. So what does it mean to you, Marissa?
To me, social impact means that not only are you in business, not only are you making profit, but you're aiming to take on challenges of our world in one of many categories. The categories that I look at are environment, health, poverty.
Give me a good example of that.
Sure. So, for example, a lot of the businesses here, we talk about the environment. A lot of them, just by nature of being in this space, they're composting their lunch, they're using, our copy machine that has inks made of food, they are recycling and doing our practices. So by nature, some of those operations are more environmental. So that's one way in terms of incorporating these themes, but really getting into how your business makes a difference, going deeper, because that's something that everyone can do.
Oh my God, I'm so glad that guy left, by the way. He was out of the room.
I appreciate the spirit, but
here's give me one specific, very concrete example. I want to hear it, because for me, and I appreciated the question from Billy Bob, whatever his name was. I really appreciated his question because it's important that we see a very specific example.
Okay.
Yeah, but in like 45 seconds.
All right.
So we got to sign
All right. I'll speed it up. So think about, I'll tell you about Toilets for People. They are a nonprofit and social enterprise here at our space. They raise awareness about water and sanitation issues around the world. They also sell a product called the Crapper, which is a compost toilet, which means they make it at an affordable price, and they distribute it to developing countries in need. It helps make communities safer when women need to go to the bathroom at night. They now have a place in their home that they can maintain themselves. And this is a product that is meant to solve that water and sanitation problem.
And women are always going to the bathroom, and that's what we know. Men know that too. We know that.
Can I go to the bathroom right now?
We have a small bladder. I don't know what it is, but you know what? Okay. This is really cool. To be continued, because we have also another show coming up for next week, which will be Impact Investing with Mission Markets, who are also here, who you've introduced us to. They're very cool. And also Michael Schumann, Local Dollars, Local Cents, and you are just amazing. And I want you to know that this model is not going to become obsolete. I think this model is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, because what we're doing here is collaborating.
Sure.
So it's not just sharing the cost, which is essential for entrepreneurs and for overhead. There's sharing the cost, sharing the responsibility, sharing the overhead, but it's also sharing ideas. And this place, just walking through it, is so inspirational, and I really have to, in all seriousness, say, really inspired by what you're doing here, and by me personally, I'm so glad to know you. Thank you for inviting us.
Oh my gosh, I'm so inspired by each of you shining a light on this space and all of these amazing social entrepreneurs.
The love boat.
We are having a love
Here we are.
Absolutely.
You want to sign up? Like,
yes, absolutely. I'm so excited, guys. Thank you so much for being part of this show today. We are really glad to have you on it. And it's always a pleasure to have folks like that on the show. We are a news show, and we're excited to have you with all the details about upcoming social entrepreneurship and social innovation. Check us out at That Matters Live, or you can always find us online at thatmatterslive.com. Talk to you real soon.
Ah.